I chose to review this series because I felt like it wasn't well known, and I'd read it in middle school, I think it was. But oh man, there is so much to this series that I didn't even notice when I was in middle school. It's deep and it's rich. I highly recommend this series. Hey guys, welcome back to Kenna's World. Today's review is for a slightly whimsical fantasy series, The Wingfeather Saga. It's written by a Christian, Andrew Peterson. If you've heard his name, it's probably because he's a musician and has written several Christian songs. I chose to do this review because I felt like the series wasn't really, because I didn't think the series was really well known. And I remember reading it when I was in middle school and really enjoying it. However, I was a little bit reluctant to dive back into it. But oh man, as I started reading it, guys, this series is deep and it's rich. I highly recommend reading it. The first book in this series is On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. The second is North or Be Eaten. The third is Monster in the Hollows. And the fourth is The Warden and the Wolf King. The author does a really good job with character building and story and world building, which makes the story very engaging and interesting and fun to read. And he's kind of humorous, especially in the first book, which I'm going to read you the back of. Andrew Peterson spins a riveting tale for all ages, following Janner, Tink, and Lily Agaby and their trusty dog Nugget in escape from the vicious fangs of Dang who seek the lost jewels of Aneria. Quirky characters in their world of wonders, from the edge of the dark sea of darkness to the deadly Glipwood Forest and beyond, set the stage for this epic adventure that includes original songs and silly poems, an ex-pirate grandfather, toothy cows and real sea dragons, tours of Ankle Jelly Manor and Pete the Sockman's treehouse, suspenseful legend and fascinating lore, genuine recipes for Maggot Loaf, and authentic hand-drawn maps. Content-wise, the series is fairly clean, though there are a few things to note, such as some passing gas jokes and things like that. There are some boy-girl relationships in the story, though they don't get much worse than kissing. And it happens like once. And there is a couple mentions of pipe smoking. Also, there is some violence. And there are several parts of the book that are creepy, though again, they were more creepy for me in high school than they were in middle school, so I just didn't understand really. The villain of the story has figured out how to meld humans with beasts. So, that part was really kind of disturbing. And it talks about how there are two kinds of magic, the Maker's magic and then the other is the evil magic, which the villain, Nag the Nameless, or the nameless evil named Nag, is using to create his minions. There is also one use of the D word, but to mean condemning, and so it's not used as a swear word, but it is in there. The last book of the series, you really start to notice a difference. The characters all become more mature, and the story, like, tightens and feels more mature itself. And the worst part of it, the last story starts to reveal to you the backgrounds of some of the characters, which are done on these more gray pages, though I don't know what it's like in the newer copies. But one of the backstories is kind of disturbing, and without spoiling too much, it's basically that the villain fell in love with the same girl as his best friend. His friend ended up getting her, and the villain never let on that he still loved this woman, and he became his best friend's advisor, and so he never let on that he still loved her, but he did his best to always be near her. And one day she had a baby and he heard a cry, and so he rushed into the room, and the story ends with him kidnapping the child. It was a rather sickening story that I really only noticed it in high school, but it does mention blood surrounding the queen, so I felt that needed to be mentioned, especially for parents wanting to be able to notice if this story is good for their middle schoolers. All in all, the Wingfeather Saga was a really delightful story, and I think that adults who read it and high schoolers will get the most out of the richness of the themes and the deepness of it. I first read the series in middle school, and I didn't notice many of the content things I noted. I just saw a really fun, engaging story about 3 kids trying to survive. And I can't tell you much more than that because I will be spoiling the story. The series is humorous and suspenseful and delightful with colorful characters and amusing creatures. I really enjoyed reading it and totally recommend it. My little brother is in 5th grade and he read through the entire series and he enjoyed them. And I think you should read it. And I think it's good for any ages, really. Because if you look at some of the reviews online and stuff, even adults say they enjoy the story. So the books I have the old covers, the ones they were originally released with. The author is re-releasing the series with new covers. However, I believe you can still get these old covers. You might have to pay a lot for them. Mom got me the set, these 2, for Christmas, and they were like $9-10. However, now I think this one's going for, in the original cover, like $200 something. And as you can see, I don't have the 3rd book in the series because when my mom was looking for them for me, it cost $50. So it might be better to just wait for the new covers. On my blog, I have links to all of the books, and the first couple go to the new covers because the last ones, he hasn't released the new covers for them yet. The author also has a short, 15-16 minute short film of the Wingfeather Saga. It just goes through the first book, and you can find it on Amazon Prime. It was clean and delightful, which it was fun to watch. He also has Pembroke's Creaturepedia, which you'll learn about in the book. However, it's out of print. You can find it on Kindle. And then he has the Wingfeather Tales. Some of the stories have some of the characters from the original series in them, but it's a collection of short stories written by a lot of other authors about his Wingfeather, or about the world of Airweir, which is what he calls his fantasy world. These were fun and I liked them. So those are the other things he sells with to kind of go along with the Wingfeather Saga. On his website, I think he has some other things that are based on the series too. But I really enjoyed the series. If you read it, tell me below in the comment section. Also, I would appreciate it if you could give me book suggestions to review. And then I'd like it if you like the video. I would appreciate if you would share it and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and bye, bookworms!